On to trade matters now. Ministers representing the 15-member Southern Africa Development Community, better known as SADC, are currently meeting in Pretoria. Now, the gathering will serve as preparation for the 37th SADC Heads of State Summit. Zimbabwe's import ban on a number of consumer goods from South Africa is likely to be on the agenda. Now, trade ties between these two countries remain heavily tilted in favour of South Africa, but that is declining. Sumitra Nydoo sat down with the trade expert Dr Gabila Nubong to find out more.
Zimbabwe's restrictions on a range of goods is not only for South Africa, it's for other countries too. But Zimbabwe does want to reduce its trade dependence on South Africa.
I think the recent spat has particularly been brought about by Zimbabwe's 2016 enactment of Statutory Instrument 64 of 2016, which in essence is not a ban on import of goods coming from South Africa, but it's an importation restriction. It's a technical non-tariff barrier to trade wherein the Zimbabwe government essentially uses the process of the issue of import licenses to control, as it were, the goods that are coming in from South Africa into Zimbabwe. Now, the argument that they use, and which is an argument which has been used all over the world, is that they want to, on the one hand, reduce the trade deficit between South Africa and Zimbabwe, and also want to use the same process to prop up local content and the development of local industries.
But Zimbabwe's economy is not performing in order to produce and in order to balance out the trade between the two countries.
Yeah. Like you rightly say, there's a sense in which there is the first set of people that suffer from such decisions would be the consumers. Because standard economic theory makes us to understand that the gains of free trade accrues to consumers because of variety, the possibility to be able to consume goods that are affordable and produced by the most efficient producer.
But are they in violation of the agreements that are in place, the SADC free trade agreement?
It's a yes-no answer to that specific question. Yes, in terms of the fact that quantitative restrictions are barriers to trade, and they go against the spirit of a free trade agreement. And if South Africa and Zimbabwe and the rest of the SADC countries have decided to come into an agreement where they say trade needs to be free across borders for all countries, then yes, there's a sense in which they are in violation of the spirit of the agreement.
There have been reports that Zimbabwe will arrive at the SADC meeting and it is hoping to ask for certain of those protocols within the SADC free trade agreement to be amended in order for these restrictions, the ban on certain goods, to become fully legal.
Right. For a country in the economic state in which Zimbabwe is, it definitely wants to look to SADC as its closest geographical region to take steps and make concessions that, in the opinion of the Zimbabwean government, is going to help them to prop the economy. And I think that it is to the interest of the rest of the region to bring about stability and growth in the region for all Southern African countries to do what they possibly can to help Zimbabwe get on its feet.
This could lead to a thriving black market, and we're already seeing it at the moment. Goods are being smuggled across the border. They're still being sold there. This could have dire consequences going forward.
Absolutely, absolutely, Sumitra. The challenge of coming up with policy proposals of this nature is that they are not stand-alone engagements. If you want to be able to impose the kind of quantitative restrictions that Zimbabwe is imposing, you want to make sure that your immigration and your border control is tight enough to be able to enforce